Hi everyone and welcome to Positively Kimmy. I am Kimmy. So today I want to talk to you about judgment. I happen to have chronic pain and a whole bunch of documented reports saying I have different things wrong with me. I happen to have degenerative bone disease with avascular necrosis, which means basically my bones are being eaten away from the inside. They're very soft, they break, they're brittle, so anytime I go in for surgery to have a tooth pulled or whatever, the bones break while they're doing this. They're that soft, and nobody should have bones that are that soft. I'm also over 55, don't tell anybody, and because of that, you have osteopenia and osteoporosis and all these other things, plus I have arthritis, which none of these are good for my bones. I also have chronic pain from my CRPS, which is complex regional pain syndrome. It's very, very painful. Just the slightest touch when I'm having a flare will set me off. I have a right hip replacement. I've had surgery in my neck, which needs to be done again. I had my lower back, my L5-S1, and because of that, I developed neuropathy and severe pain in my leg. It's horrible. The pain is absolutely horrible. Now, I was just in the hospital. I was discharged yesterday. So today is Saturday. Yesterday was Friday. I was discharged yesterday, and during one of my times, the first nurse I had looked very scattered. Like, I was like, oh my God, this one's going to be a nut job. She's going to forget all about me. When I tell you she was on top of her shit like nobody's business. She was there every single time it was due for my medication. And she was there. She was amazing. She was just amazing. She was on top of her game. She was scattered, but she was fast and she was on top of her game. That day I had asked somebody, because my nurse was on her break, for pain medication, and it happens to be two student nurses who decided to come in with judgment written all over their faces and look at me and say, well, you don't really look like you're in pain. And I said, okay, what would being in that kind of pain look like to you? I was like, because the longer I sit here, the worse my pain is going to get. I'm in there because my leg is swollen. They had to rule out a blood clot. Thankfully, no, I do not have one. But the judgment these two were just off there, just spewed off of them. It was disgusting. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I'm your patient. I'm in pain. Whether you believe that or not, I'm on pain medication at home. I'm asking for what I normally get. So you have no business judging whether you think I deserve that medication or not. Turns out that they found my nurse. My nurse came in, gave it to me, 1, 2, 3, no questions asked. Everything was fine. The next day they moved me, and I asked again for my medication at 8:30, pain medication at 8:30. My nurse said that she would be in 5 minutes. 2 hours and 10 minutes later, my pain went from a 7 to a high 10. And I'm sitting there almost in tears. And finally she comes in after I rung the buzzer 12 times. And people were just like, oh, it's okay. And she had the balls to tell me that the reason she didn't get there on time was because she's new and she was busy. Now, if you're new and you're busy, you should be working with somebody. If you're working with somebody, they need to help you. Your priority is people in pain. And she said to me, at the time, you didn't look like you were in severe pain. Now, anyone that knows anything about being in pain knows that you have a threshold. And if I can stop it at a 7 and get it to go to a 5, which rarely happens, when you wait for me to make it to a 9, by the time I get down to the 7, that is now my baseline, and that's not cool. It happened twice. She did that to me twice. I asked to speak to a nursing supervisor and the administrator, and neither one of them came in to see me. So today I am going to be calling a lot of people, or on Monday, I'm going to call a lot of people and put in a shitload of complaints, because I just think that's wrong. First of all, if you're in the medical profession, don't judge your patients. Would you judge me if I had to take a cancer pill? God forbid, or one of my heart pills, or maybe one of my pills for my thyroid, or maybe one of my, there's just so many things that this could have been, and you're going to sit there because it's pain medication and judge me after meeting me for 2 seconds. That's just bullshit. And we have a real problem with people judging people who are on pain medication. My sister and I deal with this all the time, and it just doesn't come from the medical field. It comes from friends and family as well. People look at you and they're like, well, you're really not in that much pain, or you have your makeup on, you look good. How much pain could you possibly be in? Well, let me explain something to you. The CRPS on its own is horrible, but my back issues, I have hardware in my neck, I have hardware in my right hip, I have hardware in my lower back. The hardware in my neck, part of it has to come out, and they're going to put a rod down my spine. These are all really big things. They're all documented on MRIs. I'm not making this shit up, as are most people with chronic pain, and not making this shit up. These are real problems. And the fact that our medical professionals and our family and friends don't understand and judge you for taking medication as prescribed is wrong. It's wrong. And we have to do better. Because if it was for anything else, we would not even have an issue with that. And that's my problem with this system. And I'm going to definitely be calling people, and I want this rectified. And I want this nurse, who I told to her face in front of her supervisor, that her behavior was unacceptable. You do not make anybody wait that long for pain medication. I mean, I could see you're busy 20 minutes, and even that is pushing it when you're in a lot of pain. But come on, people. We can't judge people. We don't judge them for taking heart medication. We don't judge them for taking asthma medication. We don't judge them for taking diabetic medication. So why are we judging somebody who is taking as prescribed their pain medication? This is just a rant. If you agree, drop a line. If you don't, drop a line as well. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. But it's wrong. It's wrong to deny somebody something because A, you're busy, or you forgot, or you just don't feel that they're telling the truth. Who are you to judge? I give you 30 seconds in my body at any given time on my best day, and you would not be able to handle it. You guys have a great day. I'm deciding whether to upload this or not. Love you all.